I get so many questions and so many comments about curl type, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not what that means, sis. Hold on, wait a minute. Hey Natural Beauties, what's up? It is your girl Cherie here with another video, and this video is long overdue. Do not mind me if I look to the side occasionally at my notes. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. These two parts of the Understanding Your Hair series are fairly simple, and I feel like they're straightforward to explain, and so that's why I decided to combine the understanding your strand width and understanding your curl pattern together. So let's tackle strand width because that's fairly simple. Strand width basically is determined in or broken down into three categories. You have either fine strands, medium strands, or coarse strands. Now, the way you can determine that is very simple. If you take one singular strand of your hair, so I'm going to do that. And I think I've demonstrated this before, but I'm going to do it again for this video. You take one singular strand of your hair. If it is very difficult for you to actually feel that there's a strand of hair in your head, like you don't feel anything in your finger, then that is a pretty clear sign that you have fine strands. If you do this test and you can definitely feel that something is there, like your strand is like, hello, I'm right here, if you had any doubts. Or if you compared it to a piece of thread, like sewing thread, it would feel at least half the thickness or more of that sewing thread. Then you have coarse strands. And if it's neither that thick nor that faint and light, it's probably somewhere in the medium range or category. And so that's how you figure out your strand width. Not to be confused with your thickness or density. Density of your hair as a whole is something that I discussed in the previous Understanding Your Hair video, and if you have not seen that yet, I will link it to this video either in the video description box or up in the cards. And I highly suggest that you check that out so that you can get that clear understanding of hair density and how it affects taking care of your hair. So with those different strand widths, you want to note that it definitely has an effect on how you select products for your hair. So obviously when you have finer hair strands, a lot of heavier products kind of can be a little bit overwhelming for your hair. Not kind of, they can be. When you have fine strands, there's only so much product that your hair can take. And so you want to be careful with product selection, especially for styling your hair. Not so much for shampoo or conditioner, or even deep conditioner, because those are things that you rinse out, right? But if you're choosing something like a leave-in conditioner, like a gel or a cream or something to style your hair with, this is where you want to pay attention to the product ingredients, and very much possibly what the product says on the packaging. A lot of times the things that are on the packaging are for marketing purposes and don't necessarily do anything for your hair that you really want to be concerned about. But if you read what they are prescribed to do and you read the ingredients on the back, especially those first 5, that can definitely help you in product selection. So for example, with fine strands, you would want to base your product selection as far as leave-ins and styling creams and gels on a product that is water-based. And you can tell that by two ways. You can look on the back of the bottle and read the ingredients. And the first ingredient, if it says it's water, first ingredient is usually what the product contains the most of. Most of the products that we purchase are heavily diluted, and they're heavily diluted with water. And if they're not, then you want to err on the side of caution depending on your hair strand width or thickness. Water absorbs into our hair easily. Our hair loves water. That is the way our hair cuticle lives, besides having protein. And so if you picked up a product that was mainly water-based, and then it had, other good moisturizing agents in there, maybe some alcohols, fatty alcohols, maybe a butter or, some glycerin to draw water into the hair. And, everybody has their different feelings towards that particular ingredient, but those types of things will easily absorb into your hair strand, and it won't just sit on top of your hair. And this is easy to note if that's happening, because you will see excess product in what looks like buildup on your hair strands once your hair is dried after you've finished styling your hair. Now, obviously, if you're on the other end of the spectrum and you have maybe medium strand thickness or more coarse strand thickness, you can choose those products that are a bit heavier on the ingredient list. So say for example, creams that are very thick, if they're called puddings, butters, they have ingredients like lots of shea butter, heavy oils like castor oil. These are products that are most of the time recommended for coarser strands. Now, if you have a lighter density hair, like you have low density, you do want to be careful with that because it can still kind of weigh down your hair. You might want to pick something that's more in the middle and less of a heavier item. And this is just because it will help in the long run with you either retaining moisture, your hair having excess product buildup, and you being able to hold a style. If you prefer your hair to look light and fluffy, you don't want to go in with a product that's super heavy and will weigh your hair down. That's really just the key with strand thickness or strand width. Once you determine which strand width or thickness that you have, you will be able to better select products that will work with your hair. Now we move on to curl pattern or curl type. I get so many questions and so many comments about curl type, and I'm like, yeah, but that's not what that means, sis. Hold on, wait a minute. And I don't want, anybody to be offended or be just confused about curl type when I say this. But curl type is the least of your worries.
Curl type is the least of your worries.
The only thing that this really has an effect on is your moisture retention and how you style your hair. So I've seen all types of comments. First of all, the curl pattern chart or the hair typing chart is very simple to look at and pretty easy to follow. There's type 1, which is basically the straightest of straight hairs that you could find. Straight hair is type 1. Type 2 is more of a wavy hair. The wavier the texture, the higher up the letter assignment is as far as type 2. So type 2 has an A, B, and C. I believe it has an A, B, and C. 3 is considered curly, and type 4 is considered coily. And I've actually seen where they kind of combine 3 as far as level C in the coily range. So for me, I have some type 3. I think this is a 3C. This may be a 3B. The very front of my hair is extremely loose, just right here in this area. It's always been this way. And the very back of my hair gets all the way into like a 4A, and even further back I get some, there you go, you can see it now, I get some 4B. I don't know if that's actually 4B, but the further I get back here in the kitchen area, it gets pretty dense and pretty tight and coily. My daughter that you've seen on the channel a couple of times, I have 2 videos with her when I do her wash day. She has type 4A and definitely some 4B, maybe even C. Her hair does coil very prominently with pretty much any product that I use. And there are lots of type 4B and 4C curl patterns that do coil. You just have to work with the products in your hair to, facilitate that process. But it's possible that it can coil. I hear a lot of people say that, oh, my hair will not produce a curl pattern, but that's more than likely because they haven't tried the right products to bring that out in there. And that's not everything. Seeing a curl or coil in your hair isn't everything. There's so many beautiful ways to wear your hair regardless of what pattern it may hold and what it may look like, in its curly state. So anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. But if you asked me and I had to tell you, that's what I would tell you about my hair. And based on the chart, and I'll include a picture of the chart here, that's how you would determine your curl pattern. So why is curl pattern important? Well, it's not going to help you really pick out a product. And it's not really going to determine how your hair grows, because everybody's hair still grows on an average at half an inch a month. It doesn't affect those things at all. And this is why I left this to the end of this series, because it's really not the most important thing for you to consider. The things for you to consider are in those last 3 videos. Go check those out. Those are what's really important. But I will tell you this, and this is pretty much obvious, comes with the territory. If you have been natural for some time, you realize these factors. Number 1, the curlier or coilier your hair is, the harder it is for your strands to retain moisture. And moisture is very important. The longer your hair is and the curlier your hair is, the more coils and curls that the product has to go through to keep moisture, keep oil on your hair. And so this is why we have to moisturize so often, because of the nature of our hair. So it's going to be definitely drier than our counterparts who may have type 2 or straight hair. The type 3 and type 4s are going to have a little bit more difficulty, unfortunately, retaining that moisture. The other thing that the curl pattern or hair type does have an effect on is how you style your hair. This is very important because certain styles can be disastrous for our curlier or coilier hair types. So if you like to do wash and goes like a lot of people do, they're beautiful, I love them, but I dislike them for the very reason that the longer I keep my hair in this curly coily state, the more time it has to wind up on itself and to create those dreaded single strand knots. That I am not a fan of. That makes wash and goes not my friend sometimes, and that is why I stay away from loose, super curly hairstyles like this. If you haven't been told this or weren't aware, the more stretched of a state that you can keep your super curly or coily hair in, the better. This is how you can retain the most moisture in your strands and length retention. My daughter Haruta is 3 years old. I keep her hair braided. I keep her hair in twist for 1 to 2 weeks on end, and her hair is all the way down her back now. So she's retaining length. She retains her moisture as long as I put in products that work for her hair, and I do a deep conditioner wash day. She's good to go. Don't leave it loose. We are not type 1 where they can just sleep with loose hair. We're not type 1, sis. We need to keep our hair put up, locked away, bundled up. Occasionally, it's cool. We can wear our hair out. We can have nice curly coils and we can have our wash and go and look cute. Occasionally, that's wonderful. But if you want to retain length and moisture in your hair, putting it away and protective styling it is key. When we look at the end of the spectrum as far as curl patterns go, that is something that you want to be aware of and keep in mind while you're on your natural hair journey. And that's it, you guys. That's all I wanted to go over today. I really hope this video was helpful. If you've enjoyed this video, please definitely give me a big thumbs up. Hit that like button. That will definitely help out my channel. And if you are new to the channel and you still hanging in there, please make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Definitely subscribe so you can get notifications about when I make new videos, and hit that notification bell. Make sure you go click and hit all so you can get every notification that comes in so you can see more of my content. And if you are returning to my channel, as always, welcome back. Thank you so much for hanging in there and riding with me for another video. Until then, you guys, I will see you in my next one. Don't forget to live out loud, own your truth, and let your light shine.